Hey guys, welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Today I'd like to bring you my thoughts, my experiences of playing a few games as Leoric. Leoric, of course, is the new hero, released a couple of days ago, in fact one day ago I think, depending on where you're from, and he's a melee warrior, and in my opinion he's one of the most fun champions that's come out in recent times. Of course, Joanna was incredibly fun, but Joanna wasn't really my style. When I talk about melee warriors, I like to have a little bit of damage, not zero. Which is, but of course, if that's what we're going to play, that's fine. I understand that people think Joanna's fun, but I think Leoric is incredibly fun. So let's quickly go over his abilities, and then we're going to jump into a game. So Skeletal Swing is his Q. It swings in a big arc in front of him, a whole 180 degrees in front of him. Really clears out minion waves incredibly efficiently because it deals double damage to them. Deals big damage, or rather not big damage, but a surprisingly high amount of damage to heroes, particularly in the early game, and slows them by 40% for 2.5 seconds, so it's very, very good. Drain Hope, skill shot, only hits heroes. When you hit them, it starts channeling. It channels over 4 seconds, reducing their maximum health by 25% HP, giving them, so if they're 100%, they'll go down to 75, if they're 75, go down to 50, and healing you for 25% of your maximum HP. As a result, it's good to throw on anyone. It's best to throw on melee champions, because ranged champions will just kind of run away from you and not really be able to do that much. And as you can see there, you are slowed by 20% while this is active in the early game. You can take a talent in the late game to get rid of that effect entirely, but in the early game it's going to happen, so on ranged temps it's going to be very difficult for you to get the maximum duration out of that, which of course is fine. That's a very good balance. Wraithwalk is your E. When you activate it, your body stays still. Your body is attackable and killable during this phase, and if it is killed you will die, but you are free to roam around the battlefield and become unstoppable for a few seconds. You are unstoppable during this phase. When you cancel it, or its duration leaves, your body will warp to where your ghost is, and you're only in control of a ghost during this time. So basically, you press it, become a ghost, spook about the battlefield for 2.5 seconds, and then teleport. And you can cancel it early to teleport if you're just getting out of the way of something, or you're afraid your body's going to die. But bear in mind that because you accelerate up to 50%, the longer you leave it, the kind of longer you run away, you'll get much further. It's like an exponential curve, and towards the end you'll be going incredibly quick. Undying means that when you die, you can roam around the battlefield at 100% movement speed. You cannot gain the ability to mount up. However, you can cast your Q and your W. These will deal no damage, but will heal you if you cast your W, and will slow enemies if you cast your Q. Any talents you gain later will specify if they can be cast, or if the effect remains while you are undying. Please refer to each individual talent to kind of gain an assurance of that. His ultis are very good. Entomb just creates a little U-shaped wall in front of you with you at the front. If you cast it in front of you, you body block it perfectly. That means none of your teammates can get out. Keep that in mind, please. But none of the enemies can get out either. So it's really good for setting up kind of wombo combos. If you want to trap someone just to get a free kill, it works very, very well if you're playing with heroes like Kalthas and Jaina that don't have to get in someone's face, or even characters like Illidan who can just dive on people. It works very, very well. March of the Black King makes you unstoppable. You march forward, you swing your mace crazy like 3 times, big damage, and you heal for 7% of your max HP for each enemy hit. So if you hit all enemies 3 times, you're going to heal for like double your max HP. Because that's going to be like 35% of your max HP 3 times. So you're going to heal for just over your max HP. That's not that much when you think about it. But anyway, it feels like a lot more when you're actually in the middle of the game. Depending on how you build him, you can either build him super tank or a kind of a bruisery type fashion. Yeah, he's really, really fun. Give him a go if you haven't. And what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into a game. And I'm either going to show you the highlights of the game, or I'm just going to show you the whole game depending on how good it goes. And so I'll see you there. Right, so here we are in the game. I will be playing for the red team. I am this guy right here, playing the Vical skin because the Vical skin's amazing. This is pre-recorded. This is not live. Under any circumstances, this live. This is pre-recorded. So as you see, these maps are Haunted Mines. Basically, I just want to show you the strengths and the weaknesses of Leoric. So at the start of the game, I will be soloing a lane. Again, just because of the layout of this map, you have to assume that if you're in a lane on your own, you're going to be 1v4. So I just kind of want to show you, I didn't do this on purpose to kind of show off how good Leoric can be, but what I think this will do is this will really give you guys an example of just of where Leoric's strengths can lie compared to other warriors of a similar style, compared to like the bruisers and whatever. So I go to my gate and I realise quite quickly that stuff's going to happen in the watchtowers, because it normally does. So quickly after realising this, I'm the reason I realised it a little bit too late. I should have realised it there. I start moving up, as opposed to I'm still not moving, so I'm moving up now. That's a little bit slow from my end. I could have moved up significantly faster and got myself in a better position. And eventually, you know, the fight just kind of fizzles out and nothing really happens. I stay in because I'm going to be one of the warriors on this team. one of the frontliners, and I think, yeah, no one's there, let's go back to lane. And then as soon as I'm here, I realise, okay, this is definitely a 4v1, ETC's coming to help me out, good stuff, let's see how we can do this. So I'm keeping in mind, and I'm thinking, right, now my Q is going to clear minion waves very effectively, and my Drain Hope is going to be good for getting rid of these pesky little heroes. And basically at that point, we're just like, okay, not the best trade, but not bad. We got them all surprisingly low. For a 4v3, that was pretty good. Let's just reset this lane to the middle. It costs us half our cannon ammo. Let's see what we can do. So we don't want to kind of dive in too hard, even though we do have the HP advantage. Kerrigan is always lurking on the wings. It's here. There's a very nice jump in, a very nice slide and dive, which is good. So we managed to pick up the Leoric. Unfortunately, the Nova does overextend a touch and does cost her life. And 1 for 1, it's not too bad, especially considering they're in the aggressive lane. We almost get caught out there, but we don't. Quickly managed to grab the healing fountain. Nice little poke on the Kerrigan there. It's going to cost a little bit of a root. Luckily, we don't get hit with the stun there, and we managed to reset. So 1 for 1ing in the 4v1 lane isn't too bad. The problem really with that is this lane hasn't shoved anywhere near enough. We have got half the ammo down, under half the ammo down on one tower, whereas down here we have no ammo left. Basically 2 shots, which is basically nothing, and we haven't shoved the lane out enough to kind of delay them from getting into the mine. So we try and do that right here with a good slide. Unfortunately, I missed the Drain Hope there, which would have been really quite useful in this engage, actually, now that I look back upon it. We don't get the kill on Kerrigan, which if I landed that Drain Hope, we probably might have done. So that's one of the problems. Well, not one of the problems. That's one of the things you've got to look out for with Leoric, is you do rely on landing that W, which is fairly easy to land, but as you can see, it can be deceptive. Now, because of it has a kind of long cooldown, and if it's a case of like, if I land it, I go in and fight. If I don't land it, if I miss it, we don't fight. Simple as that. So we managed to pick up their Leoric again there. It's not really a massive deal. I'm not really focusing on what I don't do. And as you can see, in the Haunted Mines, Leoric is incredibly good at clearing out these little camps. One cleave of his skeletal swing, and he'll really take out a massive group of people. So I'm going in to try and help with this fight. I see Kerrigan here, and if I land this W, we get out. Unfortunately, I don't land the W. She manages to get away. Our Butcher does get killed, but we managed to pick up the Kerrigan on the rebound. Unfortunately, that will be a 2 for 1, which of course, in the mines at this stage of the game, is not good at all. In fact, it puts us significantly behind because it means we're not going to be able to pressure any of the camps. So I'm sitting on the outskirts there, trying to do as much damage as possible. I get a nice little grab there on the Zebo. Is going to put him down kind of low, not low enough, really. Managed to get the skeletal swing just to secure it out, and then on the way out, we kind of get a little bit confused. And I forced the Wraith Walk. Don't take any damage because Kerrigan knows it, and then just kind of make it out without too much trouble. Butcher gets Envenom for his trouble, which is kind of worth it, to be honest, and then we just clear the wave and reset. Now Nova here is doing some kind of interesting poking, which doesn't really concern me because I know we're going to lose this, so we're going to be 80 skulls down, which isn't going to be very good at all. We kind of come in to try and fight it. We don't know what health this is on, remember, and so we try and go in for the fight. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to go well for us. We might be able to pick up Leoric, which we do, maybe Valor as well. We pick it up. Oh, it's a good Wraith Walk for me. We managed to pick up the Valor, and then Kerrigan comes in. We're probably going to lose Jaina here, and the Zebo goes down as well in the middle of this. There goes Jaina, and we should get these two without too much trouble. So that's going to be a 5 for 1 if we get this right. I'm pretty... Yeah, Leoric's just come back alive like he was dead. He died in that fight. So if he's unlucky, he's going to die again. Oh, that was a bad Wraith Walk. So it looks like he's going to die again from this. That was actually a 6-1. Leoric, one of the few champions that allows for 6 for 1s to happen. And we managed to pick one up there. That gives us... Well, it doesn't really give us an experience lead because they've managed to take out so many structures in the bottom lane here. Or they will do soon. They're going to get... They're going to claw this experience lead back. So this experience lead kind of doesn't really exist. And me feeding them, or rather, the other Leoric feeding us, I thought that was me for a second there, doesn't help us. But luckily he manages to quickly slither away, which is very, very well played from him to not die there. So we're kind of sitting in the back. Butcher's in the front lines, which is always really bad. And I mean... I could have gone in and counter engage, but I really don't want to counter engage behind an enemy golem. It just seems really, really silly, so I don't do that. And now we're in the really awkward spot of how do we deal with this? And the question really is hope. You have to kind of hope that your damage will be enough from the ranged assassins and everyone. The golem will eventually die before it does too much damage. Fortunately, the lead is significant, and so we're just kind of sat fighting around our own fort, not really knowing what to do. It looks like we're going to pick up the Leoric there again. That's the problem that Leorics have, is a lot of Leorics tend to be a little bit over-aggressive and die for quite a lot of the time. Fortunately, we don't cover them over here because we're too busy dealing with the Golem, and that will cost Nova her life. And the Leoric is going to come back straight away. Now, because the Leoric does reward 100% XP and doesn't reward a quarter of it or any fraction of it, oh, the Butcher's gone in again, and we can't cover him because, again, he's behind the Golem. Luckily, it looks like he's going to be able to get away this time. Sorry for that weird camera movement there, and I managed to pull away quite easily with the little Wraith Walk there. Sorry about that. My mouse is not happy at the moment, is it? Right, I think we're good now. So yeah, so now as you see, they have an experience lead, which is kind of strange, and we are significantly on the back foot, so to speak, here, and with our butcher dying, it's not going to help us in the slightest, and I'm still not involved in the fight because I had to hearth because my health was low. Kerrig is going to die as well. That does mean it's a 1-for-1, but that's not very good. Jaina will die, the Envenom is going to seal her out. So if we can get this Leoric or this Valor, we might be in a good spot, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to get either of them. So now it just kind of settles down and goes into that awkward pre-harvest phase, the pre-farm phase, where you don't really know what to do, and it normally falls down to get mercenary camps. But because we have 2 people dead, we can't do that. So as you can see, Leoric has quite a good early game. I've managed to secure a few kills. I've managed to deal a little bit of damage and stop a couple of pushes quite well. But the pre-ulti team fights are just kind of strange and awkward, and they don't really do that much. I'm going to warn you guys, in this particular fight I go for the March of the Black King because we have a mosh pit, and I really didn't want to like entomb on a mosh pit and other stuff like that, just because it does push people out of the way as well as putting people in one spot. It can move people ever so slightly, and after playing EDC a little while, I know how annoying that can be. So again, we have this kind of awkward phase where we're team fighting under our own dungeon, under our own fort here. Now this is really bad play for me, in all complete honesty. I should be at the front lines. I've got max HP. I should be at the front lines kind of helping them, especially since it is a 4-man fight. But I don't have my ult, and I'm very aware that they have their ults, and I really don't want to do this. So I just kind of try and back off and try and bring the team back away from this fight. Sack the fort, it gives them another level, but that level doesn't really give them any much of an advantage. Now we go in here because they kind of force the team fight. Now they still have their ults, which sucks because it means that we're all going to die. Unless someone manages to get away, and it looks like the Nova clone is going to die, but we all managed to get away. So that is a surprisingly good victory for us. But it's quickly followed by a crushing defeat in the fact that it's not really that much of a victory because now we have low HP and they have position in the mines. But you can have this kind of awkward moments where you don't really know what to do as Leoric because you're a tank, but if you're building that kind of bruisery style, which I like and which a lot of other people like, it's difficult to kind of know, right, do I go in here? Am I the initiator? And the answer to that question is usually yes, unless you're really well coordinated and you can have someone else do it. You going in isn't too bad. Now we do have our ult, which allows the March of the Black King to get a crazy wombo combo off with the ETC and that, and there goes the Valor with the one-on-one. So if you don't kite Leoric, he will wreck you. Actually, that's a 4 for none. So you can really see the power that what Leoric can bring to the battlefield in that kind of, if you can CC them, he can blow them up, and if you can't CC them, he can CC them in the form of Entomb. Obviously Entomb is kind of unreliable as a form of CC, but it can work very well. Now, even though we've managed to claw that mine, farm, harvest, whatever phase you want to call it, back, we're still significantly behind. Now, unfortunately, there was 8 skulls that Jaina managed to get, actually. Oh, so we are still kind of behind. It's behind enough that we should probably defend, and our golem probably isn't going to do too much because they have so much ammo and they have such high HP. But it's enough of a kind of a recovery that we're not scared that we're going to lose the game. But it is kind of awkward because their whole team's going to push up, most likely. Obviously, it turns out that Nazebo staying back to do this camp. Oh, he's timing it. That's so clever. So what he's doing is he's timing it so that when our golem spawns, he'll grab it. And what that means is that while we're killing it, these siege giants are going to come right the way down. Sorry, they're going to come up to the top lane, and they're going to destroy our golem without too much trouble because they're going to be focused on killing these two. That is incredibly clever advanced play. Now, big old March of the Black King from them. Fortunately, because they have their ults up, because they fell out of sync, because we were so far behind, we lose 2 people for nothing, which is a real shame. But luckily for us, one of them is me, one of them is Leoric. Oh, it's a big Furnace Blast. Oh, I know I'm supposed to focus on Leoric, but that Furnace Blast, holy crap. So I'm going to be back in the fight here momentarily, and this is one of the other things that Leoric brings to the team fights. Any team fight that's kind of exaggerated or that lasts for an extended period of time, Leoric's probably going to come back alive. So if you can just lose him, stay back and kind of recuperate and try not to lose too much, fall back to a fort or something. Obviously on this map it's lesser of a big deal, but if you can fall back to those kind of things. Oh, if he had a mosh pit, if he mosh pitted there, that would have been disgusting. Oh, unfortunately it doesn't go off. Don't get the last hit on the Kerrigan. Nova goes down. And we're just going to kind of fall back here. Now, what was that? We ended up getting like a couple of kills from that. So it turns out that we have a 2-kill lead, but the amount of structures they've taken out is just means that they have a commanding experience at the moment. But because of that, you have this kind of phenomena of held experience. So our experience at the moment is kind of held. What I mean by that is that we have the opportunity, we have the potential to take out both this fort, both these cannon towers, and this fort. And because we're getting to a high level, it's really not going to take too much for us to do that. So while they have an experience lead right now, we could quickly bring this back and draw level in the experience or gain the experience lead ourselves. Now here is not a very good engage for them because they could get flanked very easily and get a 5-man mosh pit. Unfortunately it doesn't happen, which is a real shame, and it kind of goes bad for us, but the big furnace blast from the butcher there really allows us to secure a kill and gain some worth from this. Now I managed to pull back with a drain hope on me. I'm not going to do too well here, but yeah, close enough, that'll do. So it's a 1-for-1, which of course isn't too bad considering they're going to be the attackers, they're going to be the aggressors. It's really going to come down to who's going to get the mines, who's going to get positioned in the mines first. Now they know the mines are about to come up, and the loss of valor there is really devastating. So what we kind of do is we're like, right, they're going to go in the mines because the mines are coming up soon, probably soon, too soon for there to be another team fight in the meantime. But it might not. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just saying, let's just clear out. Let's just clear out the minion waves. Let's just make it as difficult, as awkward for them as possible to push this lane, to push any of the lanes, which is what I'm trying to do. Obviously I think I'm on half health, the mines are coming up soon. Let's just back. They don't need my help to get this. They're probably not going to get killed while doing it. Let's just back, get full HP, and then come back up to the fight and join them. So I would like to start summarizing where I think Leoric is good, where I think he falls short, and where I think you can really exploit his strengths and weaknesses mid-game. I don't necessarily mean in the mid-game, I mean during a game. But first, before that, it's death time. So, classic thing, you need to be around about here in one of the tunnels because they can see a lot of this. Now, as soon as you leave, they come in, and then you set up the amazing wombo combo and March of the Black King running through, putting Drain Hope on everyone and their mother and their daughter. I don't know what the saying is there. Leoric dies. Kerrigan's already died. Valor's popping in and out. There goes Nazebo. That's going to be 3. Where's the other one? Oh, there he is. The Arthur's still up and about, just jamming. But yeah, he can set up some very, very good combos. I think his strength is good as a split pusher. In theory, he's really good at wave clear, and so he can, if needs be, he can clear out minion waves and do this kind of stuff. He's good on, thus he'll be good on Haunt of Mines. He'll be good in Garden of Terror and other things. His strength lies quite heavily as a duelist. He can duel a lot of people quite well. He's surprisingly good at taking people when he's on low health and the other person's not. He can deal with them surprisingly well. And he's good at just kind of adding a little bit more damage to I don't want to say teams that lack it, but teams that want it. Teams that are just like, I want a little bit more defense, or I want a little bit more damage. Like both of those, we want a little more defense and want a little more damage. He can do that, which is something that a lot of warriors can't do. Sonya, kind of. Tyrael, kind of. But they both fall short in that regard. They're both like, they don't do as much damage, nor do they do as much. Look at me. I'm so hyped about bigging the team up that I mishype and I get hit by the thing. So yeah, no other bruiser really does that, which I think it's really cool that Leoric can do that. I think that's a really, really cool thing. Where he falls short, I think, is just damage overall and the punishment he can take, or in this case, not take. I think he's a little bit too squishy, so you can kind of exploit that by just like, oh hey, Leoric's engaged, let's focus him. What am I doing? Yeah. His strengths lie, as I say, in his wave clear and stuff like that, and his weaknesses, surprisingly enough, lie in just killing people. Like, he's a good duelist, yeah, if you let him just kind of do whatever he wants throughout the whole course of the game. But, oh god, he's gonna die, that's a real shame. But we managed to kill... There goes. God damn, people are just dying. So he's very, very good at chasing as well. One of the things which I've seen some really good Leoric players do, which I don't do enough, is changing position mid-fight. So you run into a fight and you manage to latch onto the Kerrigan or the Valor or the Jaina, and then boom, you get the kill, they die. But then the other person, the other ranged assassin, is on the other side of the fight, still doing as much damage as she was before. He's one of the few warriors who, on a relatively low cooldown, with not much else going on, if you know what I mean, can deal with that. He can. With I know Tyrael can and Sonya can to some extent, but Tyrael's relies on people standing still, and Sonya's relies on landing a skill shot. But what Leoric can do is Leoric can just go E, run, spawn, kill, and it's incredibly good for if you win a fight, or you're about to win a fight, you've traded 1 for 1, you can just switch around and really get another kill. You can combo those kills together, which not a lot of other bruisers can do, not a lot of warriors can do, in all honesty. So that strength alone is probably worth at least looking to have him in your team composition. Now this is something you should never ever do. Never, I don't care who you are, charge 5v1 into the enemy team. I don't care if you're 20 levels ahead and you are Diablo. Never do it. You will die, and you will die quickly, and especially in the late game, post level 20, you're really going to cost your team a lot of time and effort and worry. So what we're doing now is we're trying to secure map advantage, which is a very strange thing to talk about, but I kind of like talking about it. What we're doing is we're attempting to steal objectives from around the map in order to give us the position so that when the mines open again, we can do what we want without too much trouble. Now the big problem with this is we have map advantage, which is a great idea and a great concept. They have this big fucking lane that they can just walk up and kill us with. So we have to defend against that. And basically, I am so proud of the whole team. I'd like to shout out to each and every single one of you. You are really good players, amazing players for what we do here. So now there's 4 of us, and there's 5 of us, and they have the core in their sights, and none of us engage for one reason. We think, right, the butcher's not here. We can't engage. Let's posture. Let's maybe score some pokes, but let's not engage. We draw our ults. We draw out everyone, and then just as the butcher comes alive, combos start coming in, and we just start laying into people. And then before you know it, their overextension and their greediness is going to cost them 1 kill, 2 kills. Then another one comes out. That's going to be 3 kills. Obviously, we've lost 1 in this regard, but it doesn't matter. So that's going to be... There's 3. And it looks like it's going to be 4 if there's a charge available for the Butcher. Butcher comes in with that charge. Bang. Slam. 5 kills. We have 5 kills, and I just get hyped. I'm just thinking, that's it. That we win. We win now, surely. Surely we win. There's no way they can defend against this. We have 30 seconds until they spawn. Surely they can't defend against us here. And then ETC tries to say, and now maybe this is the safer option, in all honesty. Maybe getting 100 skulls is slightly safer. But at this point, I think if we let them spawn, we lose. We have 2 levels on this. This is the first time in the game we've been ahead, and we are significantly ahead. Let's just press the advantage. And then I was so worried the Butcher was going to die here. I almost went to peel for him. But the speed, it goes down. So this is another example of when the game looks glim, of when the game looks bad, when the game looks dark, when the night is dark and full of tethers. You can pull it back. You can put it back in the form of we didn't give up. We had 1 good fight in all the end game, and we managed to secure enough throughout that we managed to end it. Leoric is incredibly fun. I really recommend you buy him, and if you don't really want to buy him or you can't really justify it, try him out at least and see how he goes. And if he does come on the free week at some point soon, please give him a go. This has been the first impressions of Leoric. I really like him. I think he's incredibly strong for what he does, and he's a very good fit into the meta at the moment. I have been Mr. G. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.